All right, what's up, YouTube? We got about 30 minutes till market close, and we had a pretty good day today. A lot of stocks are up. A lot of the plays that we called were right, and a lot of just stocks in general were going up. The market was up in general. So we just came off of Biden having his speech, and he announced a lot of stuff about the vaccines and supplies related to vaccines. We're going to go over that and some plays, some stocks related to that. But today was essentially a rebound day when the Build Back Better plan was announced that it wasn't going to go through. A lot of stocks fell in anticipation, but today we had a bit of a rebound. So a lot of plays that we called out yesterday went through. So that was cool to see. But a lot of stocks in general, since the whole market was up, are also up. So a lot of people had a good day today. We're going to start going over the ones that we called out. So BFRI, we called this one out around market close, so like $7. And the reason we talked about this one is because the short interest on it was about 90% shorted, which is almost the entire float. And at that, it was only 3 million shares. Now, this isn't anything new. This has been going on for the past few weeks, and we've been waiting for it to make this move. And then finally, it decided to. So if you held, congrats, you made almost double your money from 7 all the way to 14. I mean, even up here, it made a huge move today. It was making small moves like this, but it finally made a really big push today, and I anticipate that it continues, because if shorts cover or people continue to buy off of this and the market stays green tomorrow, that's going to be a huge key because you need buyers. Then we could see some kind of rebound, but it's coming off of a low. The reason we make these videos 30 minutes before after hours is because stuff like this does happen in after hours, and we want to get you these plays essentially as soon as possible. So it's coming down, might test this level here, might consolidate a little bit, and we'll see what happens tomorrow morning. But this is a big mover. A lot of eyes are on this one, and it's going to stay on the watch list here. DWAC. Okay, so we mentioned that Biden just had his conference. And so apparently had Trump that had tweeted or announced that he had gotten his full vaccinations, essentially like his boosters and stuff like that. And Biden gave him a quick shout out and like said that he agreed with them on that. And so since DWAC is related to Trump, this actually popped off of that little announcement. Kind of a funny thing, but something that you want to kind of track. This made a pretty okay move. It's about $2, but DWAC tends to move a lot. And one that quickly follows is CVFI. So typically they don't make just small pops like this. Usually they're trying to really push up. We see like a lot more action on these. So maybe into after hours this close. Letting that simmer, I think it could go back up. So Pfizer, we talked about this one yesterday. I don't know what this was about. I didn't see any news or anything for this drop, but my idea is that Pfizer and Apple were running during the market while it was going down. So that now that the market flipped and rebounded, my idea is that Apple and this tanked, which they both did, kind of in a reverse kind of move. But there was really no reason for it to sell off. So I figured that this is a good price down here. And then we have Biden talking, probably going to push vaccinations. So he's marketing it for you. You have Pfizer looking to release their COVID pill sometime this week. And then you have Pfizer looking for FDA approval for young children. And so you have all those three things going for you, plus whatever Biden announces. And Biden ended up just announcing that they had reinstated his rule for employees who have over 100 employees to like have their mandates and things like that. And also that they're going to grant more funds towards supplies like testing and things like that. So this is a good. I saw those as good catalysts. I didn't really see why it should sell off, but this was at a good price point. I mean, this is kind of a key level. It's not really going to be moving. It's been moving very slow ever since. Airbnb, we talked about this one yesterday, just because we thought it was oversold. I mean, pretty much looking for the rebound, and so we figured a lot of stocks were going to rebound. So what we were looking for is a range, since everything's going to go up. If you find something with like a 50-cent range and it rebounds, the whole market rebounds, like you're not going to make too much off that. But if the market rebounds and you have something that moves like $5-6 a day on its best days and there's a good rebound, you want to look for stocks that have a lot of range to play. So we called out Airbnb, Roblox, and Affirm. And sure enough, market rebounded today and we had some good range on this, about $5 each. Affirm is typically my favorite when it comes to range, because typically it doesn't even need a catalyst to go. Same thing with Roblox. Airbnb is kind of just depending on its levels. Airbnb typically doesn't get too much news, unless it's bad news like regulations. But other than that, it's just kind of price monitoring. SAVA, this is one I looked at today. Again, we talked about range. This is not one that I saw yesterday, though. This one is pretty, I think, sold off. Kind of interesting pattern here, but this one had a lot of short interest on it as well. Not as much as BFRI, but I believe it was like 30 to 40%, which is still very high. And then on top of the market rebounding, it moved quite a bit. So from here to here, that's pretty crazy. I mean, a lot of the short interest plays this morning went up. So anything that had a short interest, even LGVN is popping right now too, also off short interest. There's another one I can show that has a similar move. iSig, this was another short interest, I believe. Or this one was one that had momentum. I don't think this is a short interest play. I think this is one that just had momentum and popped recently. Actually, don't know why I have this on the watch list. This isn't anything that I would be watching here necessarily. I know they had good news that they're gonna talk about like how they can make their investors like, I guess more valuable, their investment, their stock in general, or their company. They were gonna look for alternative ways to make it more, I guess, holdable for investors. But okay, so this is one of the ones I was looking at. So we're talking about range with like a firm and stuff like that, and then today I saw how this one rebounded. It went from 205 up to 220, so it's like a $20 range. And if we zoom out, which is what I was talking about, trying to show earlier, this is the one I was talking about. It's kind of rebounding here, and there's like so much range on this. And I think this was a short interest play a while back. Like this is kind of like a GME, like AMC kind of scenario where it doesn't really probably deserve this price up here, but because it's holding in the short interest squeeze, it has value. And if it's going to rebound, it's going to rebound whether it deserves it or not. Now, I don't know if there's any other news on this that might warrant this price, but from what I remember is that it went up so high that even when it came back down 50-60%, it was still at $200 because it reached high of about 500, I believe, in like one day, just getting halted up and halted up and halted up. So this one is holding a bit of value, and it has a big range again. Like it did all that in one day, and it's moving about $20 increments per day now. So if it is showing some kind of repeat pattern, there's a lot of range to play here. I'm just going to keep an eye on this one because this is my first day really paying attention to this one. So kind of curious, but I did notice that $20 range is kind of insane. LGVN, this is another short interest play. This one isn't as much short interest as before, like a few weeks ago, but it does still have about, I want to say it's 20 to 30% short interest as well. And every now and then it just tends to pop. It has these sporadic pops, and LGVN people tend to flock to it during press conferences when Psaki talks or Biden talks. Kind of interesting, almost like something for people to do while this is happening. But it's a constant pattern I see. LGVN is always popping during those. AHPI, this is one that we've talked about before. It kind of moves sporadically and has these pops like during after hours or during the day. And today had a little bit of kind of a catalyst behind it where Biden was talking about how they've been stocking up masks and tests and gowns and different kind of supplies in case they need it again, because there was a shortage the first time the pandemic came across. They want that to happen again. And he announced like testing and like different supplies that they're going to be funding. So AHPI is a mask play. So although people make their own masks and people buy masks from little shops, just in general, the fact that he kind of mentioned it gave this a little bit of a catalyst. It was already kind of moving up on the day, but after that news, it popped. So that's going to be it for this watch list here. Pretty simple, but you want to keep it simple when you find stuff that works. We have a bunch of short interest plays that have a lot of volume and a lot of attention, and short interest plays move heavy when there's a lot of buying volume. And today we had a lot of buying volume for the first time since its rebound. The market's been going down the past few days just based off anticipation for today. And we're going to be looking for continuation volume tomorrow from these stocks, but also just in the market, because everybody was kind of holding off until today, kind of seeing what kind of news Biden was going to announce, anything crazy, anything. The chances were it wasn't going to be less just because of the new variant. It had to be probably anticipating something worse, like some kind of mandate or something. So everybody was kind of waiting on that. But now knowing that everything's kind of settled and the worst is behind us, I'm curious to see if we're going to have more buying power, more buying volume tomorrow and have 2 green days back to back, or at least 2 days with high volume back to back, where there's going to be a lot of range to play. Because in the red days, you're looking for bounces, you're looking for stocks to find their bottoms and ride the wave back up, which is great and all. But after multiple days of that, there's no more bottom. Stuff kind of just consolidates when people realize it's not worth any less than this, but there's no buy pressure to push it up. So it's a good thing that we had a rebound today. Going to be interesting what happens tomorrow, but these are the stocks that we're watching. So yeah, if you guys have any stocks that you're watching, leave them down below. Any information that I missed about any of these stocks would be cool too. But that's going to be it for me, guys. Until next time, you get 20 minutes back, and hopefully you can catch this before after hours and make some plays, or at least look at the charts. All right, until next time, guys, I'm out.